Season 47, War number 8, and I'm actually back with the same exact team I took last war. I'm taking the same amount of fights, but Moondragon only has 1 fight and Chavez only has 2 fights. So I have 4 other Tigra fights coming later in the video. 1 of them on the path, and then 3 minis, and I'm really excited for those. But for starters, we just have this Scorpion on node 8 that I'm taking with Moondragon, and Scorpion just gets absolutely annihilated by Moondragon. She's really good at countering him because of the fact that she reduces the potency of poisons on herself, and she prevents evade when she gets into her ramped mode, which she does extremely fast because their poisons also ramp her. I can barely even talk about how good she is for Scorpion because of how fast he dies. Her damage is so crazy when you can ramp her up that fast. It's amazing, but anyway, we have node 17, Adam Warlock, next. I'm always trying to be cautious against Adam Warlock just so he doesn't break my block. And this is going to be a slow play of a fight, really. I just don't really want to mess it up. I just want to play it slow and make sure that he dies with me having a good bit of health left. It'll definitely help for the next Chavez fight I have. So we do have to be aware that when he has the Sovereignty, I can't really parry. And I try not to parry too much anyway, just because in case I parry his second light attack, that would be really bad. So we're just going to keep up our negative zones, control his power gain a bit, and then throw a bunch of SP2s. We're going to actually sacrifice the extra damage for just a little bit of healing, and it seems like it was definitely worth it because he's almost already dead anyway. I just need to wait out the pod, and then I'm going to hit him with a relic, I think. Yeah, and the relic actually finishes the job, so that was pretty easy for her. Took a little longer than I'd have liked, but it wasn't really that big a deal because we finished at 95% health. So next up is Bishop on node 26. Bishop doesn't really benefit from any of the nodes here, so it's mainly just a big Bishop, which is fine. I Tigra Bishops all the time. It's just there's always a risk that this fight can go badly. If he throws an SP1 into your block, then you have to deal with the Incinerate phase. Speaking of throwing an SP1 into your block, that's exactly what he did. So now I'm like, well, I want to keep my senses, but I also want to avoid him at the same time, so this kind of sucks. I lied when he said he didn't benefit from the nodes. He does gain that regen every once in a while, but it's pretty rare. We lost so much health just from 2 Incinerates, man. That's crazy, but we get our senses back up. I'm trying to push him to SP2s for the rest of the fight. I don't remember this Bishop's stat focus, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Block Pen, which is pretty nice. I think it was like the Prowess one. When I checked, it kind of weird that it wasn't Block Pen, but either way, he's getting destroyed by this SP2 now. I'm going to spam my Relic, and hopefully he dashes into it, which he did. And now we just bait another SP2, and then he's basically dead right after that. So, yeah, Tigra does destroy Bishops. It's just if he throws SP1s into your block, then it can be a little frustrating, like it was earlier, but she got the job done. I'm gonna have to give her a couple potions, but not that big a deal. And so now I'm trying to get to the next node. It kept making me try to tap the guy's username, but either way, so we have Hulkling on node 35. This is a fight I've taken a lot this season, like 4 times I think, and it's usually pretty easy. You just have to keep your negative zones up, and then he's never going to get to a special 3, and if he doesn't really get to a special 3, you're not really at risk of dying in this fight, because the main gimmick of the fight is this power gain, and yeah, you're kind of controlling that to begin with, so I just need to keep those negative zones up, and then we're perfectly fine. We did throw the SP2 into his block a couple seconds ago, but that's not that big a deal. We still got the regen out of it, and it's just a slow and steady finish for this guy. I'm going to throw my SP3 at the end just because I got pushed to 3 bars of power, and I was trying to focus on keeping my negative zones up rather than actually throw my SP2, because that's what's more important in the fight. Not killing him extremely fast, but just controlling his power, so after he throws this SP2 here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go for an SP3. Never mind, I'm not. Now I'm going for an SP3. Never mind. Okay, so we're good. We throw the SP3, and then, yeah, it does enough damage to kill by a lot, so that's nice. So those are my 4 path fights. So next up we have the minis. We'll start with Node 37 Thing. I've taken this fight so many times, it's really easy, however I do actually mess it up a little bit this time. Basically the way you do this is you just control things unstoppable and regen with the neutralize, and there's really not much to it after that. You just dex his SP1s while rooted. It's not that hard if you get the timing correctly, which I've practiced a lot on, so it's pretty easy for me. But I got stand your grounded a couple times in this fight, kind of frustrating, but largely not that big a deal. So we're going to throw the SP2 here, or so I thought, and then I got pushed to SP3. So I'm like, oh, well that's great. So now I'm making the fight last a lot longer. Granted, I do get some benefits from the SP3 being new senses and an indefinite rupture, but now I have to try to reset and get to an SP2 again, and yeah, so we get rid of the regen there, but he stand your grounds my entire heavy, and now he's at 15, and I'm going to hit him with my heavy attack like an idiot, because once that neutralize falls off, you can't hit him while he's at 15. That's a big no-no, and I completely forgot about it, mainly because of that stand your ground. I just kind of didn't even register the fact that, hey, my neutralize isn't going to be there because he resisted my whole heavy, so I only lost a little bit of my health, so it's not that big a deal, but definitely the fight went a little bit harder than it needed to be. But, you know, we got the solo, so it's okay. Next up, we have Gorr on Node 42. This is another fight that I've done quite a few times, and I'm going to activate a combat regen boost just so I don't have to use a potion here. And this is a pretty easy fight for her. If it goes wrong really fast, but I don't think I've died to this fight before, so I know what I'm doing for most of it at least. Basically, it's got make a stand, which largely doesn't matter because you're knocking him down so many times, and also one eye open, which I can hit him while he's stunned while the protection is up. It's just when it falls off, then I can't really do that because I'm going to take so much damage from hitting him while he's stunned. But either way, that was a stupid intercept, man. I swear I get intercepted by Gorr all the time. Luckily, he didn't finish with a medium, and even if he did, it definitely would not have hindered the fight that much, so perfectly fine there. Next up is Onslaught on Node 47. So I've fought Node 49 Onslaught twice, but this one's on 47, which is a little bit different. I'm not really sure if it's easier or harder, but either way, I'm going into this with basically the same game plan as I would for 49. We're just going to counter heavies and nuke him before we just die, and I'm going to make sure to get those Neuroshocks off as soon as possible, because if he does throw an SP2, I can miss it as long as I do not have a Neuroshock active. If I have a Neuroshock active on me, then he can't miss, so I'm kind of screwed there. I just have to dex it. Baiting a heavy attack here, he's not feeling like it, but then he finally does, and I'm going to go for an SP2 here. No, I'm not. I'm actually just going to miss his special, which was good because I got rid of a little bit of his power. I also got a bunch of power myself by missing it, but I also just wasted a lot of duration on my senses. So now I'm kind of in this weird limbo state where I've got to try to get my senses back, but I also want to kill him as soon as possible at the same time. So we're kind of just trying to play without the blue sense at this point, hoping he doesn't throw the SP2, because if he does, I'm probably dead. But then I realized, hey, I've got the relic, I can just combo to my SP2, he's basically dead now. So that's exactly what we're going to do, just combo to the SP2, and yeah, the SP2 is going to finish the job. So we did it. I could have played that fight way better, but a solo's a solo, doesn't really matter. Anyway, at the time of recording this, the war is not over, it is basically tied right now. But when the war does end, I will try to remind myself to pin in the comments if it was a W or an L. I'll do my best to remember that. I've got a lot of stuff to do today, that's why I'm recording this video so early, but thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.